Hey everyone, I'm Adam here from BoLS Souls with
Drake from Dragons Are Comics and Fantasy.
And today we're going to Rokugan. Drake, what'd you bring today?
Today I brought the new setting supplement for L5R RPG, the Shadowlands book, as well as Mask of the Oni, an adventure module set in the Shadowlands.
Makes sense.
There's a theme, shadowy theme this week.
For those of you who don't know about the Shadowlands, it is part of the L5R setting. The mystical land of Rokugan is where kind of the majority of stuff happens, but the Shadowlands is on the other side of the border where the Crab Clan defends and has a lot to do with the Shadowlands. And the Shadowlands is basically where all the creepy demons and
where the evil things
come from, which is why the Clan Crab is down there to defend the wall, essentially. So pretty cool stuff.
They're like the Night's Watch.
Exactly. Very, very similar. It's
like
cool.
A fantasy feudal Japan.
It is. It's very cool. So let's go ahead and take a look inside. All right, Drake. Shadowlands and Mask of the Oni. Again, this is the source book. This is the pre-constructed kind of an adventure pack.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you want to start, man?
Let's go through the setting guide, and then we'll look at the adventure module, because this is fairly light, and it's got a couple components to it.
Okay.
So let's look at that first, get some context, and then we can dive in.
Yeah,
there.
very cool.
Yeah, so obviously it's the same kind of format. They have the ribbon on the right. The art is gorgeous.
Oh yeah,
this game.
FFG always has really good art.
Yeah, they've you can count on them for a few things.
Yeah, tokens and art.
Yeah.
Table of contents here. We've got the Shadowlands intro. We've got the first chapter, just talks about the history. Second chapter is honor against demons, and then the third chapter is out of the shadows.
Right. So Dark History is very much the lore chapter. It talks about not just the Shadowlands, but individuals and factions from Rokugan that have interacted with it.
Yeah.
Its history of its existence, where it came about. Mostly talking about the Crab Clan, like we mentioned in the intro, and their kind of constant vigil against the encroaching darkness from the Shadowlands. Chapter 2 is basically the actual PC character stuff.
Yeah.
New items, new weapons, new heritage, new schools and character options tied to the Shadowlands.
This also introduces one of the minor clans, which is the Falcon Clan. So, they're not necessarily entirely new to the setting, but we get more information about them in this book. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot. There's the major clans, which everybody, if you've played the card game at all or are familiar with the lore, those are the guys that kind of run overall. If you think of back to the Game of Thrones analogy we used earlier about this being the wall, the smaller clans, think of those are like banner houses to the big clans. So very structurally, it's feudal Japan. So, but mystical.
And then going into chapter 3, Out of the Shadows, it's more of a kind of the DM information as far as what mechanical things do you need for running in the Shadowlands, including something that stood out to me, a full good 8 pages on making an Oni.
Yes.
As very much kind of the forefront, the focal.
Keep that page in mind. What is that? 134. We're gonna be checking that out later. Let's go ahead and flip through the book here a bit. Again, this covers kind of what's inside. It does have some adventure seeds, which I like. Some extra background hooks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Keep going here. Dark Histories, like Drake was talking about. We're not going to flip through the entire book, but you get the idea. It's just a background guide. It tells you the nature of the Shadowlands, and you can see this wall that has been built, not in the north, mind you,
in the west.
In the west,
Southwest.
south, and west. Yeah, that protects the people of Rokugan against the Shadowlands. And if you look specifically here, it is actually the crab territory. Those are the people that man the wall. The Crab Clan is known for being highly defensive, very honorable, but they don't like to get involved in the Rokugan proper politics.
Yeah, because they've got a job to do.
They have a duty to do.
Starks.
I wasn't going to say it, but yeah. Yeah, that's the crab people. The crab people. Yep. I wasn't going to say that either, but that's
I'm just goading you out.
Yeah.
Flipped ahead to some.
We have some stats and different stat blocks for different NPCs you might come into, different adversaries like a Revenant or.
Very cool.
Yeah, very cool stuff.
A lot of spooky undead.
Spooky undead indeed. Again, this is one of those plot hook things right here. You can see here, just Legends of the Lake. Gives you some plot hook ideas to draw from. Yep.
Ooh.
False Lantern Grove. Again,
not
creepy.
lanterns, they're heads.
Those are not lanterns, they are heads.
Spoiler.
Yeah. It talks about what to do, too, if your players do enter the Grove, how to play that up and freak them out. Again, the Shadowlands are not a nice place. Onis are not known for being the most played.
Or pleasant. Oh, got deep into the pit. The actual physical domain of Fu Leng.
Yeah.
Is absolutely terrifying. And that's just the Guardian.
Yeah.
That's just the Watchdog.
Obsidian Bone Oni. You get the idea. These are different locations within the Shadowlands with the different types of encounters that they might, the PCs might engage with there. We can skip ahead. Let's go to the next chapter, actually. Because you get, I think the folks at home, you kind of get the idea.
Yeah, walking through various different areas in that kind of way. Still in chapter 1, still in the kind of overall world growing.
They're not all bad places. There's some other interesting, not trying to eat your face Oni places.
Yeah.
So
because this does talk about not just the Shadowlands themselves. It does talk about the Crablands on the other side of the wall, on the safe side of the wall, so to speak. Because the idea, I suppose, is that your adventurers will be spending a fair bit of time there as well as not just, let's go camp overnight in the Shadowlands.
Let's go to the Shadowlands and never come back. No, you're going to be interacting with a lot of the crab facilities, the different garrisons people. And the wall itself, and then also the villages and towns along the wall. So, yeah, you get the idea there.
Ride the unicorn.
Well, yeah, that might be something else. If you want to patrol the Shadowlands, that's what's cool about this. I'm sure the Crab Clan will reward you with honor and glory if you decide to go across the Shadowlands and come back in one piece.
Help their vigil.
Against demons. Again, this introduces the Falcon Clan, which is a new clan house, essentially. It talks about their founding and their lands. They might become major players one day, but right now in the storyline, they are up and coming, or something like that.
They've been taking a backseat.
Yeah. If you want to be from the Falcon Clan, you can. They have a whole character arc generation stuff for you here to get that knocked out. Introduces some other NPCs that basically are not NPCs, but different character archetypes.
Well, definitely a lot of schools.
Yep.
Advantages, disadvantages. Moving forward a bit. New weapons.
Yeah.
Very exciting. Everybody loves new weapons.
Everybody loves them. Siege crossbow. Heck yeah, dude. New armor.
Ooh.
Personal effects.
Pretty solid high tier stuff.
Heck yeah. I like me some new stuff.
Artifacts, special stuff.
Ooh.
Very, very scary. Probably cursed objects.
Probably. New titles. Yeah, the Damned. You may not want that title, but then again.
I'm a 20 goblin crab.
Nice.
A giant enemy crab.
Hey, man. There's corruption. They introduced some new role-playing stuff like corruption, afflictions, and things like that. So, I mean, if you're out there messing around with Onis, it's gonna mess with your head eventually. So.
And here we are, 134. As you bring it up.
Oni Generation. If you want to make your own
Oni.
If you want to make your Oni, you follow this chapter, this section, and it'll walk you through some of the different types of Oni that you can come up with. Different type of powers that you can run with. A whole lot of crazy stuff. Dark Oni Fragment. Ooh. Yeah, like the detached eye, hand, or tongue of an Oni. It still has power, folks. That's the creepy part.
Use everything.
Yeah. Serpent speed. Yeah, you get the idea. This book, Tenets of Bushido, talks about courage and just how that impacts your gameplay and NPCs. So, yeah, this book's got some really cool stuff in it. If you are looking to explore in the Shadowlands, if you want to build a character from the Shadowlands, if you are wanting to play a Crab Clan member, boom, check this book out. That said, it's time to look at the short adventure, the adventure guide here.
What we're going to be doing here. This is just the title sheet.
Yeah. We've got a bunch of extra tokens, which again, what did we say earlier? You can count an FFG for
tokens and art.
And this is both of them. This is both of those. So these are just different tokens for different NPCs for your gaming, stuff like that. They're double-sided.
Pretty cool. A good little map. Basically, the same map that we saw in the book itself is also included here.
Yep.
There's that of the overall lands with the Falcon lands up here at the top.
Here's the Shadowlands here, a bigger picture of that, and Falcon lands.
And then on the reverse,
Yeah.
I believe is Iron Watch. Oh, Daylight Castle, as well as a map of that as well, but don't look too close at that because spoilers.
And then we get into the adventure proper. This is not a big book, but it doesn't need it to be, I think. We're not going to go through this all the way because it's definitely a lot of spoilers. It's a multi-part adventure. I want to say there's 3 parts, if I remember correctly. But it's for the GM to read. Is it a 3-part? It's 32 pages. Complete adventure. And I'm going to cheat real quick. Hang on. Drake distract him with the tokens.
Well, definitely is an Oni and some kind of like large revenant that we saw before.
Okay, it's got 6 parts, but one of those, the final part is just kind of an epilogue.
Is a wrap up.
It's a wrap up, but it's got some great artwork in here. Again, there's lots of story hooks. I don't want to spoil this for folks at home, but you get the idea. This is definitely designed for your game master to buy and use. If you're a player, you want to be a nice gift for the GM, maybe, you know, hook them up.
$20.
$20. Speaking of which,
and all your friends hours.
Yeah, for hours of fun, it's totally worth it. Let's hop out for a really quick recap. Well, Drake, that was the Mask of the Oni Adventure, and of course the Shadowlands RPG setting book for L5R. Pretty pumped about both these, if you can't tell.
Yeah, definitely very interesting way to flesh out and kind of like take that extra step beyond where we normally like live and kind of adventure as far as working on. It's like the equivalent of like an Underdark or the Shadowfell expansion for D&D, where this is the area you normally play in, and then you go a little out of your comfort zone into very much hostile territory.
Yes,
and that's always fun to explore. Especially
it's cool. With the adventure to kind of give you put your legs under you while you're walking through there, and then also just the rest of this resource book. I like it too because it makes it gives the setting some defined bad guys in a lot of ways. Because again, L5R, it's a very political game. There's a lot of maneuvering.
Right, it's very
courtly, behind the scenes stuff going on. Versus this is way more straightforward for a party of adventurers to go across. They don't have to worry about like, gee, I wonder if that Oni wants to eat my face. You know, it's
like it. Yes,
it probably does.
The answer is yes.
It may try to trick you into letting you eat its face, but that's beside the point.
And you don't have to worry about potentially dishonoring his father if you kill it. That's just gonna.
It's just it's fine. It's fine. So anyway,
it's a more straightforward approach to the setting, especially as for people who are more familiar with it with more kind of standard fare of sword and sorcery.
Exactly. So
kind of settings.
With all that said, let's talk price point on these real fast.
Yep.
What are we looking at here?
So the Shadowlands supplement book is $39.95.
Cool.
And the Mask of the Oni module is $19.95. So $20 for a module is definitely not bad.
Oh yeah.
$40 for a setting book is pretty standard, I think. Especially for not necessarily new character rules, but very, very in-depth as far as for the narrator.
For the game master essentially. Yeah.
To giving them their tools. This is very much a for the GM kind of book.
Exactly. Yeah, and again, what I like to say too is with the source books specifically with adventures too, you don't necessarily have to even be playing the same core rules. You can always steal ideas from here and bring them into whatever kind of RPG setting you're playing.
Yeah, absolutely.
You could, for example, the Shadowlands could also be like in space, and if you're playing a sci-fi RPG, you've crash landed on a Shadowlands planet or something like that. You get the idea. You can steal and borrow these ideas, the core concepts, and incorporate those into whatever game you're playing.
And adapt them,
as a game master, as a dungeon master, I love the source books just to be able to do that, because you get ideas and get inspiration from all sorts of places, and just because they're prepackaged adventures for a game you might not be playing doesn't mean you can't find useful stuff in there for them. So,
absolutely.
Anyway, that's my little rant on that. Go check these products out. They're in stores right now. I'm Adam here from BoLS.
And I'm Drake, Dragons of Comics and Fantasy.
And this has been another Tabletop Spotlight. Thanks again for watching. Tabletop Spotlight, brought to you by Dragon's Lair Comics and Fantasy. Click to subscribe. check out more videos. And thanks for watching.